The same week teachers threatened to strike, Governor Ducey announced a way to give them a 20% raise they demand. He wants the legislature to pass a 9% raise next school year, along with gradual raises annually that would add up to a 20% increase in pay by the 2020 school year.
By the beginning of the 2020 school year, the projected average teacher salary will be $58,130.
This proposal came one day after teachers staged walk-ins across Arizona. They demonstrated outside campuses before classes began. Organizers with the group Arizona Educators United said this week they may announce a walkout if their request went ignored. Governor Ducey said he would work with lawmakers on a final budget in the coming days. He will also meet with educational community leaders about his plan, and that includes Pima County Superintendent of Schools Dustin Williams. Shortly before the governor released his proposal, we asked Williams to explain how dollars currently make their way into the classroom.
In our office, we'll distribute about $1 billion a year to all the districts in this area.
And those dollars are distributed based on enrollment.
Yep, they're based on enrollment. It's all the federal taxes, bonds, overrides, all goes over to Phoenix. Goes to Phoenix, is sent down to our office, and we distribute it out to the districts, and those districts then have local control on those monies.
Governor Ducey has continued to say that more dollars have been pumped into K-12 education. Is that true in Pima County?
In some sense, yes. The amount of dollars pumped in, not enough. Not nearly enough. We need a lot more. Schools have basically two pots of money that they work with. One is going to be the management and operations, one's going to be capital. So one pays for all the people in the schools. The other pays for all the stuff in the school, books and computers, roofs, carpets, AC units. That pot is called a capital pot. The other one is the M&O. The capital pot has been stripped away for a long time and really, really bad the last 5 years, and those schools need those dollars. So what happens is the schools are forced to use the M&O for everything. Right now, the priority for how we fund education in the state is not where it needs to be. We need to really think about a really good, solid, sustainable funding mechanism and probably implement what we don't want to hear a lot of, but is a small education tax, and do it in a diversified way that's really fair for businesses and income taxes, and look at something that's going to make sense so we can fund both those pots, so we can make sure that the schools have air conditioners, make sure they have bus drivers, new buses, counselors, and then most important is that champion in front of our children, which are our future, those teachers. And right now we've got vacancies and people are leaving because the dollars just aren't there to live.
We've had walkouts in other parts of the country. We've had walk-ins here, specifically in Arizona, over the last week. It sounds to me like there's a strike brewing.
I would venture to say that's very true. My fear is that this goes into a full-blown strike. And then what happens is we have to say, number one, if we don't have teachers in the classroom, we need to talk safety first for our children. And they can't show up to school without supervision. So districts will be forced to close these schools. And then we have to come and say to our parents, what is your plan with your employer for your child to be home all day? And what if this lasts all May? That could be detrimental to our entire community. Nobody obviously wants that, but you can see that the people are beginning to speak.
Teachers have asked for a 20% raise. How realistic is that?
It's a very realistic ask. It's about, let's call it $750 million. We have a $10 billion budget. From 2008 to today, we've lost out on $126 billion in taxable revenue. There's money on the sideline, but if we don't have a way to tax it in a meaningful and ethical and fair way, those are dollars that we can't get in there. So is it possible to do it? Absolutely, 100%. It can be done. And you know, statewide, it wouldn't be a huge burden.